Hello there, guys. How are you? Welcome to Breakfast All Day. So great to see you. Christy and my great friend Katie Walsh is here for our first review of the day, which is Ghostbusters Afterlife. Katie from Tribune, as always, has been such a delight having her here every week, but especially this week because I know that she and I are on the same page on Ghostbusters Afterlife. All right, give it to us, Katie. What's it about?
So, if the 2016 reboot of Ghostbusters was like, okay, let's just I can't even remember. Was it a continuation or was it just a hard reset? It was kind of just like a hard reset, right?
With women,
With
that's the
women, right?
problem. They have uteruses.
Yes. So this is a sequel that actually, the Ghostbusters exist in this universe, and it's
Boy,
a
do they.
boy do they. And it is a continuation of, it's a new generation of Ghostbusters. So, but we don't know that yet when the film starts. We just know that there is a down on her luck single mom played by Carrie Coon and her two precocious children played by Mckenna Grace and Finn Wolfhard. By the way, Mckenna Grace, great actress. She's got this big old mop of curly black hair and round glasses, and she's really good with numbers and science and stuff. So if you can't pick up what this movie is putting down from like minute one or even just the trailer, then I don't know what to tell you. But they inherit the estranged father of Carrie Coon's character, Callie, whose name you don't hear until like 90 minutes into the movie, by the way. She inherits her father's ramshackle old dirt farm in Oklahoma. So she hauls her kids off to Oklahoma for the summer or to move there, or just it's totally unclear the amount of time they're going to be spending there. And so they're in a small town in Oklahoma, and they're at this old home looking around, and of course young Phoebe, who is the McKenna Grace character, finds a bunch of ghost busting equipment and there's a spooky old mine where the teens like to hang out and stuff's coming out of it. So adventures will ensue. Many delightful ghost busting adventures will ensue in this small town.
Are they delightful, though? That's my
No,
question.
they are boring. The whole time I was watching, I was like yawning. I could not, I will forgive. I'm a very forgiving critic, I think. I'll forgive just about anything if it's entertaining and if it's engaging and that I'm like caught up in the story. But when you start picking apart little details of the script because you're bored, things have gone horribly awry. So like I was really concerned, like, so Phoebe gets enrolled in summer school, and I'm like, they don't live there. Why is she going to summer school?
You have to establish residency.
To go to school?
Take public school. Take it from somebody who has like gone through gas and electrical bills to prove that we live where we live to enroll our child in public school. You don't just show up and like, boom, you're in middle school.
Her off. I'm like, I thought they were going to be there for like a week to just wrap things up with the house. It was so confusing. And then the other thing is like, I had no sense of, and this is the most minor of nitpicks, because it's like, there's much larger problems with this movie, but at one point it feels like they've been there for months. And then Phoebe goes, oh, well, my grandpa died last week. I'm like, what is happening in this time frame? I have no clue.
And how do they feel about being uprooted from, I think it's Chicago, to middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, the fictional Somerville?
I've seen people say New York, where they're originally living. Now you're saying Chicago. I had no clue where they were living originally.
I thought I saw Illinois plates on the Subaru.
Oh, okay. You're very astute. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the major problems with this film is like the characters are so poorly written. Like Carrie Coon's character is so poorly written. Like, what does she want? We know nothing about her except
does she have a job?
Bad with money.
What does she do for work?
And she wants to get down with Paul Rudd.
I mean, he is the sexiest man alive, Kate.
Yes. But and there's no debate about that. But I hated the like quippiness of the dynamic between like the whole dynamic between Callie and her kids is very quippy, very sarcastic, very sort of, it felt dated to me. Like it felt like dated to me, like even just a couple years ago dated. And like, of course, there's a friend and his name is Podcast. And it's like, oh, podcasting, that's fresh. And maybe because this movie was delayed, like that's the problem. But um yeah, it's just it's these are all like the most minor of quibbles. The bigger quibbles that I have are like the way it is so slavishly devoted to the original film and treating all of the gags and jokes from the original film as if they are like a sacred Talmudic scroll of mythology. And it's like the original film did not take this seriously. So why are we treating this mythology like it is so precious when it was a joke? It's supposed to be a joke. It's supposed to be funny, and this movie is not funny. So it's not capturing the spirit of the original film because it's not, the original film was this like slacker action comedy that was kind of parodying like other movies of the time. And it was like, playing off the personas of Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and all those guys. And it's like, no, like, so why turn it into this like very juvenile kiddie adventure where every single thing is treated as this like really important totem or symbology or something? It's like, it was never supposed to be that.
Well, we need to mention that Jason Reitman directed it. Jason Reitman is taking over from his dad.
Without even
but this is key to it, right? Because he's taking over the mantle from his father, Ivan Reitman, who originated the franchise. And so there is great reverence for, as you put it, material that is inherently pretty goofy and pretty silly. And that's why it was such a gigantic hit in 1984, And so this also does the thing where it trots out every character and a famous bit of dialogue and the archaic technology and the car. And it's like as if bringing those things out and like, here's a thing, as if like that alone is enough to make you laugh or at least like have a familiar chuckle or at all. At one point, a character has to make a phone call.
Oh God.
And, and somebody else asks her, who are you going to call? And I literally said out loud to myself, oh my God, to like nobody in particular in my mostly empty theater last night.
It's like, but it's not even just that he says it, but like the camera goes like, who are you going to call? And I was like, no, stop this. This is demonic. I can't, no.
It's bizarre. And then like when like Finn Wolfhard discovers the car in the barn, it's all rusty and dusty. And like not once, but multiple times, Jason Reitman will like linger on the license plate, which still says Ecto 1 on it. And he'll linger on the little Ghostbuster logo, the little red and white Ghostbuster logo on the doors. And it's like, see, look, it's the car, guys. We got the car.
So there was a moment in my screening where they're driving around the town, careening around, busting ghosts, and they drive past a mural of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, which, like, by the way, well, we don't have to get into this, but
I know what you're going to say. Let's talk about the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man eventually. Yes,
they also, but like the other thing is like this movie purports that everyone has like forgotten about the Ghostbusters, which I'm like, how is that even possible? Like the way that they, saved New York a million times. Like if we are supposed to believe that they stopped all of these incredible tragedies in 1984 from, that people would remember that. So, it's like kids today are aware of 9/11, not to bring 9/11, but there's like anyway, someone in my screening, so they drive past a mural of Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and someone in my screening just went, did Leonardo DiCaprio pointing?
Yeah.
And I was like, why are you pointing at that? It's just it's like, yeah, you're like, oh yeah, there's a mural of Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but like, you don't have to like pick that out. I don't know. I mean, I'm picking on this person, but I'm just,
no, but that's the problem is it's
whole
that
movie is pointing. The whole movie is like, there's a, what they pick up the whistle and they're like, what's this? And then you like, and then they literally redo the entire end of the first movie in the climax.
Mm-hmm. So this is a movie in which characters sit and they look at YouTube clips of the original movie. Like they watch on YouTube, they watch the end of Ghostbusters on YouTube. Yes, it is. I've seen the comparison to the Leonardo DiCaprio meme. What I wrote in my review for Ebert is that it's like 2 hours of that Chris Evans in Avengers meme where he's like, I understood that reference. It's that over and over again for 2 hours. And it's to make you feel like, I don't know, comforted. It's also total erasure of the all-female Ghostbusters from 5 years ago, because like women shouldn't be busting ghosts, right? Women are allowed to answer the phone.
Little girls are allowed to bust ghosts
because of well, she's a tomboyish little girl, and also because of who she is.
Right, who she is.
Right, who she is. And so women can answer the phone at Ghostbusters headquarters, and women can be possessed by demonic deities from another dimension if they still look sexy doing it. Yes. But that's it. And so this is like a reset to like, look, guys, it's going to be okay, you know, because they bring out, there are cameos and people who sleepwalk through their cameos.
You know what? I just have to say, I cannot talk about the ending, but what there's a choice in the ending that the more I think about it is the most ghoulish thing I can think of. And I know that when this happened at the New York Comic-Con screening, everyone, because I was talking to a friend who was there, like everyone went, whoa, and screamed and yelled. In my critic screening, dead silence. But it is a moment where they're going, I'm like shaking my computer. They're like, feel something, this is what you want. And it is horrifying. It is like so tacky and tasteless to me. I can't believe it hasn't like caused a firestorm on Twitter, to be honest, but maybe not enough people have seen it yet, but or you know, it hasn't gotten out. But I'm just like, this is unspeakably ghoulish, and I cannot believe they did it. But you know, Jason Reitman, he has a little, you know, clip before the film, at least that I saw, that you know, where he's like, this is a family film and my dad was on set, and I'm like, cringe. So... I don't think that should have been the case. And he's also described it multiple times in the press as like the greatest Easter egg hunt of all time. And as soon as someone says that, like my stomach just drops. I'm just like, oh God, no. I like, cause that like, the power of cinema, pointing at the screen. Like that's not how I want to enjoy a movie. Like I want to feel something. I want to be swept away. I want to really invest in the characters. And it's like they all they did was the Easter eggs and the fan service, and they didn't do any of the characters. I thought the action was like lackluster. It was fine, whatever. It was just so boring because I wasn't engaged at all.
No. How is it an Easter egg hunt if they collect all the eggs for you and put them in a basket and then hand it to you? That's what this is. That's what this is. I mean, I guess there's like arcane little stuff.
There's no hunting involved. You're just like, well, it's all like, look, it's all there. Okay, that's what it is. And like, I don't even, I mean, I like Ghostbusters. It's fine. I'm not like super attached to it as like, it wasn't like my childhood movie. But it's fine. It's funny. And I obviously love those guys, but you know, even I am just like, really, this is the Easter egg hunt, and I don't even get half the references. But
but some of them are very obvious, like the who you're going to call. There's a version of there is no Dana, there is only Zool. I mean, there's a version of that in here. So they do a very distasteful thing at the end, but they also like, they do Carrie Coon wrong here. She is one of the greatest actresses working today. She is insightful and accessible and constantly surprising. And I kind of liked her banter with Paul Rudd. When this movie is not a Ghostbusters movie, it's actually not bad. When it's like Carrie Coon and Paul Rudd and they're having like snappy banter with each other, it's actually a little bit fun. When it's about a family trying to fit into a very insular small town, you know, there's opportunity for something there that's more interesting. But it still has to be a Ghostbusters movie, and it still has to like give you all the stuff that you want, the fan service that they think you want.
Yeah, I mean, Carrie Coon is absolutely one of my favorite actresses working today. I think she's incredible. I think she can do anything, but I think we have seen the limit of what Carrie Coon can't do. She cannot do a Ghostbusters movie because they do her dirty with this role. I just, the writing of that character was so bad to me.
And same with the character, the young woman played by Celeste O'Connor, the waitress at the little drive-through. Like there could have been something more interesting about her, you know. And there's it's like they cast her to say like, hey, look, diversity. We have a Black woman in our cast.
But also like they cast her to just be like, hey, Finn Wolfhard's got a crush and she's gonna take him to the old mine. And it's like it's nothing. It's like why do they go there? Like nothing really, there's no like motivation to it. You don't care about any of these people. And yeah, I mean I think that character's name is Lucky. It's like it's just there to be, you know, a little love interest and to like move the plot along and stuff. And it's just, and then a couple of times she's like, well, I'm fourth generation, you know, from whatever town they're in, and she like explains who the man is that they're talking about. It's like she's just exposition and plot moving along. She's not a real person.
She is not. Yeah, I kind of hated this, and I wrote in my review that it's just a craven exercise in hollow nostalgia.
Exactly. I think it's like the idolization, the like corporate idolization of intellectual property, and that which erases original storytelling, because they're just like, you know, because all of the Ghostbusters movies have made money. Even 2016 made money. And so it's like, this is a lucrative endeavor. And so of course they're going to go back to it, but it's just the way that they did it in a way to try to like please fans so much is so cynical to me.
I also want to mention that how much Jason Reitman borrows from Spielberg here.
Yes.
With like the low camera angles and like the misty moonlight adventures, and the score works super hard to like amp up this feeling of wonder.
It doesn't feel like an Ivan Reitman movie. It feels like a Steven Spielberg movie. So if he's trying to pay tribute to his dad, he should have made like a raunchy comedy.
That's true. Yeah, because the original Ghostbusters was like part of the allure of it, as you said, was like it was goofy, it was silly, and there's such reverence for everything here as if it were like, you know, mythological somehow. It's just a misfire in every way. I'm saying
I would say so. Just my last point is just that like the original Ghostbusters was irreverent, and this one is very reverent, and so that is the problem between, and then never the twain shall meet.
No, it's weird. I'm saying 2.5. I kind of like some of the Carrie Coon and Paul Rudd moments. Like I wish there was more time at their dinner date at the Chinese restaurant. I would have enjoyed that.
Yeah. You know, I'm gonna say 2.7.
Okay.
I guess there were like, you know, I like the character. I like the characters. I hated the characters. I like the actors, you know, it looks okay in parts. These are like the nicest things I can say about it. I like Podcast, even though I hated that he was named Podcast.
His name is Podcast because he has a podcast.
We're named Podcast.
Yes, I too am Podcast. I'm Spartacus.
Podcast.
Yes. Our number is a 2.6. Ghostbusters Afterlife is out there in theaters for you for your enjoyment if you're a Ghostbusters completist. It's also, I understand that there are credit scenes. I did not stay for the whole thing because I had to haul ass to get my kid from swim practice, but I understand that there are 2 mid-credit scenes. Can you verify this?
I can't remember.
All right.
I saw
like again, like it's a freaking Marvel movie. Like, ooh, you gotta stay and find out what happens next time.
Who's gonna come out? Like, is Spider-Man gonna come out and do something? Like
next time the Ghostbusters vanquish the Sinister Six, all of them, Green Goblin and Sandman, they're all gonna be there. All right. 2.6 is our number. Please don't see Ghostbusters Afterlife, but if you do, let us know what you thought about it. Katie, thank you.
Thank you for having me, as always.
Good to see you. And thanks to all of you for listening and watching wherever you are. If you're watching, please like this and subscribe and all that good stuff. If you are trying to find us out in the world, we are at BeFast All Day on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the places where you find things. Our Patreon is patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. This week, we are doing the season finale of The Morning Show, and we are beginning season 2 of The Great. And then very soon, we're going to have Hawkeye for you. Hawkeye is beginning on Disney+. So lots of good stuff. Thanks for hanging out with us. See you soon, guys. Bye.
Bye.